Yeah, they're pelicans. Look up, look up, look way up.
Kentucky. Oh, okay.
This is sure unbelievable. The height of this thing. Man.
You ready? No, I know.
Yeah, spent an hour at the first one.
Are you taking a lunch?
The Walt Disney Family Museum. On the weekends, you'll see a lot of the food trucks converged here, and just a lot of young families just kind of hanging out, throwing the football around, having little picnics. If you take a look to your left, you'll see that big double-decker bus. That's referred to as one of the techie buses or the Google buses. For the last 14 years, those buses have been around. They would go around the city, all around the city, picking up all their employees. There's a Google bus, Facebook, Genentech, and they would pick up their employees, take them down to Silicon Valley. They would work their whole way there, work their whole way back. There used to be 450 of them a day going around the city. They say right now there's 50 of them. Pretty nuts, right?
Oh my God.
By the way, this is all residential. Up here on the right, you'll see a grassy field there with a little patch of water. Any guesses what that might have been during World War II?
No.
It was a landing strip.
Wow.
They would land their planes along there. And the buildings down below here, they're old airplane hangars. They've now been turned into giant trampolines, rock climbing walls, swimming pools.
Gee.
1 mile canal that is the Golden Gate, where the Golden Gate Bridge is. And it comes into this little bay right here. So it's very powerful waters going through this bay. A lot of different tides moving around. You have water coming in from the mountains, the Pacific Ocean, and you can see how everything's moving around here.
Right. Yeah, you can see. It's not very calm.
And this is actually calm right now. But you can see here, this was the longest suspension bridge in the world when it was completed in 1937.
Gee.
And you see where the two towers are. It's 100 feet deep, right? Now in the middle, it's 200 feet deep. So this is one of the reasons why they had to make this such a long span. They didn't want to go down an extra 100 feet.
I thought this was neat. Look at these chains. They're so rusted out. Guess the weather. Look at this. Wow. Is that ever interesting? How old are these chains? Old barracks from the Civil War. Golden Gate Bridge.
And the reason why they painted this reddish orange color is so it will stand out in that fog that we've been talking about. And just to reiterate, guys, sometimes we'll be right here right now and you can't see the bridge. And you go on the other side of the bridge, it's beautiful, sunny, and warm.
Oh my God.
As Mike was mentioning, that it's been shut down 3 times in its history. There was 2 other times besides the closure of the 1987, the 50-year anniversary. Can anyone guess why they closed it down? I'll give you a little hint. It wasn't an earthquake, and it's a 4-letter word. Any guesses? You guys are so
And it's, what's the first letter?
that's gonna
Sorry, sir.
W. What's that?
Wind.
Wind. All right. Someone got it. As Michael was mentioning, this bridge has the potential of swaying. I've never seen a bridge move like that, but it has the potential.
In Sausalito, little town, you could say, outside of San Francisco. There's San Fran. Bay Bridge, Alcatraz, Skomas, the Trident, the little strip. Had a bite to eat at the Venice Deli there. Super awesome. Sausalito.
It folded, and them, as well as a lot of other companies, folded also. So from like 2000 to 2002, you could walk around San Francisco, you'd see for rent signs everywhere. Everything was for lease. It almost felt like a little ghost town. Then slowly but gradually, the economy started moving back up. In 2008, we had the big housing crash, but that didn't really affect San Francisco too much because that same year is when the iPhone came out. And when the iPhone came out, it just changed everything. It enabled basically these tech entrepreneurs to create these apps. And this is when Airbnb was created, Uber, Twitter, you name it, it was happening at this time period. In here in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And it was like that up until about March 2020 when the pandemic hit. And that's when, like I mentioned, a lot of those employees started moving out and a lot of these companies started changing their policies. Those high rises downtown, they're at about 30% occupancy. So 70% vacant, a lot of them. I use the example of Pinterest. Pinterest sold, or excuse me, they broke their lease for $91 million. They paid $91 million to break their lease.
Oh, look at this house. What the heck? Who is there? Oh my gosh. What the heck is that thing? Jeez. That's a house? Let's still keep going, guys. Wow. Oh my goodness. Who lives here? What's the address? 2901. I gotta Google this. 2901 Broadway Street. 2901 Broadway.
Referred to the correct address, which is 2640 Steiner Street. So when the movie came out in 1994, everyone knew exactly where to go and take a picture of the house. That the owners of the house were so fed up by all this attention, they ended up planting trees all around the house. And the blinds were closed 24/7. It's this house right here.
Like the corner one.
Oh, after the movie was finished, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Just the one right on the corner. You guys remember when they had the big party up with all the animals?
Jeez. That's the house. Wow. Well, I wonder how long they needed the house for to film. Probably months. I don't know.
Months, yeah. Robin Williams was actually friends with the previous owner. 30 years ago, his rent was like $500. His rent's probably now $600. The guy across the street just had someone move out. His rent is now $5,000. Same square footage. The guy who on the right is going crazy. He would love to kick these people out and boost up their rent, but he can't. They have tenants' rights. They have rent control. So what does he do? He sells. He sells to a developer. The developer comes in, figures out a way to kick him out, flips the house, and then sells it. And you know, some people get offered $80, $90, $100,000 to move out of their rent-controlled apartments. Some people take that money and run. Other people fight it because they know that that $80,000 isn't going to last that long.
Jeez.
So yeah, rent control is a pretty big deal here.
Doesn't that just make it harder for rentals to be available because everyone will sell their rental?
People wonder why San Francisco and New York, the two most expensive places in the United States, both have rent control.
All of my days, a love so sweet in so many ways. I want to stop. Thank you, baby. Just want to stop. And thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. To those people.